Alright guys, so if you're like me, you're getting to the point of the time of year where green fields have been a little pressured, and it seems to be other hunters and deer camping leases and people that hunt with you. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to do a little demonstration of little corn setups, baiting areas that are in the woods during the rut time or right before the rut when it really kicks off and you're trying to keep does in a specific area. So what I'm doing today is I'm putting out 1.5 bags of corn. I'm going to show you how I do it and everything else. So I use the Delta Grown Grains Triple Clean Corn. I use a smaller bucket, and it's not necessarily that it's smaller, it's that I can broadcast this grain a little easier. So what I do is I have this road here from where I'm standing at to down there is right at 375 yards. So what I did was I started going every 100 yards and I'd put out a section of a little bit of corn here, corn there, 100 yards, another 100 yards corn. What I'm doing is I'm getting these deer that come out of this big thicket right here, and I make them draw across through here. They're going to naturally want to go to the green fields after dark and everyone's out of the woods, of course, and they'll ease over here to these green fields and eat after dark. So what I'm doing is I'm making an area where they have to transition through easily through here. There is no feeder, there is no stand. They're naturally wanting to come through here anyway. I'm finding the deer paths and the deer trails that are heavily being used moving from my north or my northwest to my southeast or south. So I'm finding the trails. I'm going ahead and finding sign where I know the deer are using very often, whether it's tracks, whether it's scrapes, rubs, whatever, etc. I'm trying to find more doe sign, of course, because whenever you use the doe sign, you can attract the bucks. So that's what I'm doing. Now, what I'm doing here, you can see it's a dead pine top that's right here. I have a climber I'm going to put on this narrow tree here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get somewhere in there and have it opened up enough where I can see down this road and I can see all into these open oaks all around me. Same thing on this side. You can see all around about 100 to 200 yards, and you can see where the pines start going down through this ridge line. I haven't really done much hunting in this area, but I do know it's a lot of sign in here. It's a lot of scrapes, it's a lot of rubs, it's a lot of deer activity. And we're getting to the time of year where it's kind of a hit and miss. You can't really pattern anything. Sometimes you get lucky and see buck deer, and sometimes you don't. So I'm just trying to get something else going and kind of show you guys and get some education to y'all to maybe use in your advantage. So this will we'll go back this way and kind of show you like how I scatter the corn and everything else. Like I said, about every 100 yards I'd set it up with a kind of a corn sachet going through there and just spreading it. So we'll get about 100 yards down here. I'll show you what or how I kind of spreaded it. And let's see. And as I said, I just kind of spread it kind of thin all the way across the top of these leaves. I get a little bit out into the oaks or out into the woods like. That's just to make them where they naturally want to come through there, not just having it one spot. Kind of same way over in here. Same thing. You see kernels even maybe 5 to 7 yards off into the distance of the corn or into the woods. So that's the biggest thing. Scatter it very well. Here where I hunt at, it's very legal to put out corn. There's nothing illegal about what I'm doing. I just giving a little insight and information. Check to state before you just go out and feeding. Some places might be different, some regions might be different. All right, so I'm behind the top that I was gonna go ahead and have for my climber behind it. What I like to do whenever I move into it is I like to go ahead and clean me out an area where my feet will be. It's nice and clean. I'm not making all that noise setting up. And whenever I scale this tree, I'll be able to maneuver it easily. I removed any kind of little obstructions or anything that would hold me up trying to get up it. I'm gonna be somewhere about where that is right there, and that little knot. So that'll give me about 12 foot off the ground where my platform is, and I'd be able to see elevated down that way basically. And I'll be able to see all the deer that move through behind me and all the way basically the 360 surrounding, and I'll be able to see back into this direction where they come from this thicket. I'll need a either a southeast wind. Let's see. Yeah, a northwest wind would be perfect, or a west wind. Southeast or east would blow my scent back into where the deer are coming from, so that would not work. Getting here into the rut, this right here is kind of like a natural place to be broken up and everything, and of course I'll be in a climber setup, and hopefully y'all was able to learn something from this. If you did, please leave a comment. Hopefully whoever's out and about is getting to see some deer and doing some harvest and everything else. So we'll catch y'all on the next one. Goodbye.